There are very few names in history like Michael Jackson, not just because of his music, but the level of fame he reached as a human being in the public eye. And once you understand what that level of fame actually looks like, you start to look at fame completely differently. And I don't mean that in a dramatic way. I mean, when you actually break it down, what his life became day by day, it changes how you look at success, at attention, at being known in general. Because what Michael Jackson experienced wasn't just fame, it was a level of global visibility that very few people in history have ever lived through. When people say he was big, that word really doesn't do it justice. He wasn't just known in one place. He was recognized across cultures, languages, and generations at the same time. And I want you to really think about it, that millions of people across the whole world experienced the same moment just because of one person. And even now, his legacy is still being rediscovered through projects like the New Michael movement, showing that his influence never faded and is still reaching new generations. But the part that makes his story deeper is where it all started. He didn't ease into fame. He was introduced to it as a child. And that changes everything about development. Because most people, they grow up learning who they are in private. But he grew up learning who he was in public. As he got older, everything expanded. Not just his success, but his expectations. Every performance became an event. And every event became history in real time. There are even real world moments showing just how far his fame actually reached. Like when Magic Johnson invited him to a Lakers game. When he arrived, the reaction from the crowd became overwhelming instantly. The energy shifted so much that instead of sitting courtside like a normal celebrity, he had to be carefully escorted out for safety. And that's what people don't always realize. We're used to celebrities blending in at a game, but for him, that was not possible. And at one point, you have to ask, can fame become too much for one person to handle? One of the most overlooked parts of his life was how he had to move through this world. To go out in public, he often had to disguise himself, not for performance, but for privacy. And that says something deeper about fame. It could give you everything, but still take away something simple. And when you start looking at it from that perspective, it naturally leads people to ask a deeper question. What really happened at the end of Michael Jackson's life? And depending on who you ask, you'll hear a lot of different theories about his level of fame, about the business side of music, and about the amount of control he had over valuable catalogs and assets. And instead of getting lost in speculation, it's important to separate what people believe and what's been actually confirmed. On June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away at the age of 50. And the official cause was acute propofol intoxication. Propofol is a powerful anesthetic, typically used in controlled medical environments, like surgeries, with full monitoring. It's not meant to be used casually, and definitely not outside a proper hospital setting. At the time, Michael was preparing for the This Is It comeback shows. And like many performers under intense pressure, he was dealing with severe insomnia. And that's where things started to go in a dangerous direction. His personal physician, Conrad Murray, was responsible for administering medications meant to help him sleep. And according to proof findings, that included propofol, something that should only be used with strict medical supervision and equipment. And that level of monitoring was not present. In 2011, Conrad Murray was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, meaning the court determined that his actions directly contributed to Michael Jackson's death. And that's the part that's not speculation. That's documented. Now, there are still people who believe there's more to this story. Questions about the music industry, about ownership, about the business side of things. And that's a much deeper conversation. One that goes beyond what's been officially confirmed. And honestly, that's a rabbit hole worth exploring. But that deserves its own full breakdown. But regardless of how you look at it, the ending of his life, his story, brings everything that we've been talking about right back into focus. The pressure, the expectations, the amount of fame he was carrying, all of it didn't shape his career. It shaped the reality that he was living in. There's one story that puts everything into perspective. Michael Jackson couldn't even go grocery shopping like a normal human being. At one point, arrangements were made so he could experience a grocery store privately. He would rent out entire stores and hire people to act like regular customers, just so he could experience something that all of us never think twice about. It wasn't empty. It was fully staged, stocked, active. People inside acting like normal shoppers, just so he could feel what ordinary life actually looked like. Something most of us don't even realize what we take for granted. At this point of his life, there were two versions of Michael Jackson. The version the world saw, and the version living inside that reality. And both were real. One was made to live for this world, and one was made to live inside it. There is a side of fame that people rarely talk about. It's not just attention. It's distance. Because when everybody knows your name, it becomes harder to know who actually knows you. And that creates a strange reality. You could be surrounded by millions and still feel completely separate from normal life. So when we look back at Michael Jackson, we usually look back at the legacy. And that legacy is undeniable. But what's just as important is understanding the life behind it. Because very few people in history have ever lived at that level of visibility for that long. And maybe what made his story so powerful isn't just what he became. It's what it actually took to live inside of it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you enjoy this deeper style video breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So drop a like if you learned something new. Comment your thoughts down below. I would love to hear your perspective on this one. Until the next one, peace.